Good morning, all of you. Today we will read about setting time of cement. All of you know about cement, composition of cement, types of cement, and properties of cement. Yes. So, setting time of cement is a test which is conducted to find the initial setting time and final setting time of cement. So, first is your initial setting time. So, initial setting time is defined as the period elapsing between the time when water is added to the cement and the time at which the needle of 1 millimeter square section fails to pierce the test block to a depth of about 5 millimeter from the bottom of the mold. So for setting time of cement, we are using a instrument, that is apparatus, that is your Vickers apparatus, and there are different parts of Vickers apparatus like your plunger, mold, glass plate, which are used in initial setting time and final setting time. So for initial setting time, 30 minutes is the minimum initial setting time specified by ISI for your ordinary and rapid hardening Portland cement, and 60 minutes for your low heat cement. The initial setting time for your ordinary and rapid hardening Portland cement is 30 minutes, and it is 60 minutes for your low heat cement according to ISI. Okay, so it is specified in ISI. So for conducting this test, Vickers apparatus is required. So now let us see the Vickers apparatus and what are the parts of Vickers apparatus which you are using for your initial setting. So this is Vickers apparatus. So here this needle is used for your final setting time. This needle is used for your final setting time, and this needle is used for initial setting time. And here it is a weighing machine for weighing the cement, and stopwatch to mark the time, and one glass plate is there over which we are placing the mold. Here it is the mold. This is the total arrangement of Vickers apparatus to find the initial setting time and final setting time of cement. One pointed needle is used for your initial setting time, and here an other needle which is used for your final setting time. Mainly the needle which is pointed, that is used for initial setting time of cement. So this is the total arrangement of your Vickers apparatus. Okay. So next come to your final setting time of cement. So final setting time is defined as the period elapsing between the time when water is added to the cement and the time at which the needle of 1 millimeter square section with 5 millimeter diameter attachment makes an impression on the text block. So final setting time is 600 minutes. That is the maximum specified time for your Portland cement, which is mentioned in ISI. And final setting time is defined as it is the time when water is added to the cement and the time at which the needle of 1 millimeter square section with 5 millimeter diameter attachment makes impression on the text block. This time period is known as your final setting time. Next, come to your mortar. So next come to your mortar. So what is mortar? What are the different types of mortar, and why we are using mortar in construction work? So mainly mortar is used for jointing the bricks or for making walls. We are using mortars, and the term is used to indicate a paste prepared by adding required quantity of water to a mixture of binding material like your cement or lime and fine aggregate like your sand. So the two main components of mortars are one binding material and fine aggregate. So binding material means we can use your cement or lime. So to make a mortar paste, mainly two materials are required. One is your binding material, another one is your fine aggregate. Binding material, example is your lime or cement. Then uh, 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 water, okay, specific amount of water. That is mortar, means the mixture of cement, sand and water is known as your mortar. So types of mortar. So mortar are classified on the basis of the following. First, according to the bulk density. Next is your kinds of binding material. Next is your nature of application. Then special mortars. So first come to bulk density. So according to bulk density of mortar, in dry state, the mortars are of two types. First one is your heavy mortar. Next one is your lightweight mortar. Heavy mortar means bulk density is more than 1500 kg per meter cube and prepared from heavy quartz. The heavy mortar is prepared from heavy quartz, and here the bulk density is more than 1500 kg per meter cube. And for lightweight mortar, bulk density is less than 1500 kg per meter cube and prepared from light porous sands. The lightweight mortars are prepared from light porous sands, and the heavy mortars are prepared from heavy quartz. These are prepared from heavy materials, and lightweight mortars are prepared from porous sands, means lightweight materials. Okay. So next is your kinds of binding material. According to kinds of binding material, how many types of mortars are there? So binding several factors such as expected working conditions, hardening temperature, moisture conditions, etc. should be considered. Then the mortars are classified into four categories. Okay. So first is your lime mortar. In this mortar, lime is used as binding material. So definition of mortar means one is your binding material, another one is the sand and water. So lime mortar means in case of lime mortar, lime is used as a binding material. So main material is your lime, and lime may be fat lime or hydraulic lime. We can use fat lime or hydraulic lime. And fat lime mortar, that is 1:2 to 1:3, and hydraulic lime mortar, that is 1:2 by volume. So for fat lime, we can use a ratio from 1:2 to 1:3, and for hydraulic lime, we can use the ratio 1:2. The ratio is by volume. The next come to cement mortar. So in this mortar, cement is used as binding material depending upon the strength required and the importance of work, and the proportion of cement to sand varies from 1:2 to 1:6 or more. So it is the general mortar which you are using for our construction purpose, that is cement mortar, and here the proportion varies from 1:2 to 1:6, and cement is used as a binding material, is known as cement mortar. Next is your gauze mortar or composite mortar. So what is gauze mortar and composite mortar? So the process of adding cement to lime mortar to improve the quality of lime mortar is known as gauging. The process of adding cement to lime mortar. If you are mixing cement and lime, both are binding materials, and if you are mixing cement and lime to improve the quality, then that process is known as your gauging, and the mortar obtained is known as your gauze mortar, and it makes lime mortar economical, stronger and dense. By the addition of cement in lime mortar, the lime mortar becomes more economical, strong and dense, and the usual proportion of cement to lime by volume is about 1:6 to 1:8. Here for gauze mortar and composite mortar, we are assuming a volume that is about 1:6 to 1:8. The ratio is 1:6 to 1:8.